to tear our community apart. Today, Israel stands united against the division and deceit of Haman. Mordecai, what can we do? How can we stand against such treachery? If we speak against Haman, our heads will roll. With unity and courage, together, we are stronger than any plot Haman can cook up.
All right, Shalom. I want to give our praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of the great millstone. Salutations to all the brothers and the few sisters out there. Unto this like foreigners, for the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Shalom in the Hebrew, which means peace. And for you brothers and sisters that look like other nations, which are the Hebrew Israelites, from the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, which I just said, you have to be aware of charlatans, be aware of men that wear sheep's clothing, and ultimately be aware of actors. All right? Actors. This is an actor right here. A terrible performance because all right, who you fooling with this? Never in my lifetime. I'm not an actor. I don't know how to act. Because acting, it just means a hypocrite. All right? Matter of fact, get this real quick. Job 24. It said, knowest thou not this of old, since man was placed upon the earth, that the triumph of the wicked is a short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment. So you look up the word hypocrite in the Hebrew. Ooh, nice. This Hebrew word, karnap. Hypocritical, godless, profane, hypocrite, irreligious. All right, soiled. Okay, let's go. There's another one. This is another one in Job. I'm doing this during the day. That's what they do. Oh well, that's what it is. There's another one, Job. Okay. Let's see if this is the one. No, this might be 5. Nope. And that's what Nathaniel. He is an actor, a hypocrite, as somebody not to. You can't trust a guy like that. Go to Bible. Search it like that. Yep. There it is. All right. Job 36 and 13. But the hypocrites in heart heap up wrath. They cry not when bidding, not when he bindeth them. All right. The key word is hypocrite again. And I believe it's the same word, which means ungodly, right? But the hypocrites in heart, the ungodly in mind, okay, heap up wrath. And what Nathaniel's doing is heaping up wrath onto himself. Now I'm gonna go. Let's go and look it up regularly. Damn. Hypocrite definition: a person who indulges in hypocrisy, saying that not knowing the name of the Lord, right? That's a form of hypocrisy. He's a liar. I'm a witness of that. He's saying, "Oh, they teach the congregation the name of the Lord," right? When he told me and Apostle Rakar, he said that. and then turn around saying, "Oh, we don't know the name of the Lord. You can call him whatever." That's a hypocrite. Okay, I'm just looking for a particular thing. I'm gonna find it. There. Well, that's another form. In the Bible, hypocrites are individuals who outwardly present themselves as righteous or pious. Pious meaning faithful. All right, or humble, but inwardly corrupt and insincere. I mean, come on. Is this a sincere display of faith? Is this boosting out you, the head of an organization that's supposed to teach about the Lord? All right, and all you doing is making yourself look good. So he's a hypocrite. Now I'm gonna look up the word etymology. There it is. The word hypocrite origins from the Greek word hypocrites, meaning actor or stage player. So yeah, in Israel we have an actor, a stage player. Okay, he's playing a role. He's playing a role of a righteous man. That's what the Most High created him to do. Now, it's so much scriptures. I'm going to real quick. This is my favorite though. Deuteronomy 13, and I'll start at 1. It said, "If there arise among you a prophet or dreamer of dreams, and giveth thee a sign or wonder, and the sign or wonder come to pass, whereof he spake unto thee, saying, Let us go after the other gods which thou hast not known, and let us serve them." So what is a God that you blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, believe it or not, you are the Lord's chosen people. All right. Every video you're gonna hear myself and other brothers say that. Why? Because it's a key point that need to be present in everybody's mind. Who are the biblical Israelites today? All right, from their father's lineage. So it is what God did. Our people did not know. The God that the people did not know, they didn't know no Jesus Christ. All right, because that was not the Lord's name. And the J word was established in the 15th century. So how we was gonna know the name of the Lord, right? If it came the J word, which was not even a public thing at the time, and the way that when you go into the King James version of the scriptures, there was no J. 1611, there was no J. So once again, where did that come from? That was a new God. All right, that was not the name of the Son of the Most High. All right, verse 3. Thou shalt not hearken unto the words of the prophet or the dreamer of dreams, for the Lord your power proveth you. So if you see a dude that's supposed to be a serious-minded individual, listen, the prophets of old, matter of fact, hold on, let me get 2 scriptures. Matter of fact, let me get to the main scripture that came to mind. 1 Samuel 15, and I believe it's 4. No. 1 Samuel 15 and... No, I'm sorry, 16. 16. And it says, 4. And Samuel did that which the Lord spake, and came to Bethlehem. And the elders of the town trembled at his coming, and said, Comest thou peaceably? The prophets came, and they demanded respect. These are serious individuals that barely smile, that barely do any of that sort. All right? Matter of fact, the prophets were outcasts. Hebrews 11:34. And it's talking about faith. I saw that. 33. Hebrews 11:33. who through faith subdued kingdoms, wrought righteousness, obtained promises, stopped the mouths of lions, quenched the violence of fire, escaped the edge of the sword. Out of the wickedness, out of weakness, were made strong, waxed violently, in fight, turned to flight the armies of aliens, which is not talking about, it's talking about invaders of other nations. Women received their dead. So this is the history of the prophets, right? Elijah, Elisha, men of that ilk, right? Raised to life again, and others were tortured, not accepted deliverance, that they may obtain a better resurrection. Was it Second Maccabees, the 7th chapter, the 7 sons? Others had trial of cruel markings and scourges, moreover, bonds of imprisonment. They were stoned, they were sold asunder, were tempted, were slain with the sword. They wandered about in sheep's skins, goat skins, being destitute, afflicted, tormented, of whom the world was not worthy. They wandered in deserts and in mountains and dens and caves of the earth. So these are rough individuals. They don't have time to act. The scripture tells you about David's men, how they were chafed in the spirit. Chafe meaning bitter. All right. Scripture says what? Ecclesiastes 7:2. Better to be in the house of mourning than the house of feasting. Oh, wait a minute. Since I'm saying smiling, right? It says it right here too. I just want to prove a point real quick. Ecclesiastes 7, I believe it's 3. Sorrow is better than laughter, for by the sadness of the countenance, the heart is made better. So a prophet of the Lord is going to be in a stoic fashion. In order to do this type of behavior, one, it has to come naturally, right? And spirit is not, it's supposed to come out naturally. And the Lord has to put a spirit on you to do that. So if a man is able to go out there and act, you don't know who that person is. You don't know who this is. He's an actor. You can turn it on and off. Like if an actor comes around and acts sad, he's an actor. So Nathaniel is nothing but a fucking actor. All right? And there's many men that's under him that carries that trait. That's why the scripture tells you what? Matthew's, was it 9:16? No, I know it's not. Matthew's, I know it's, Matthew 7:14, I believe. No. Yeah, there's 15, sorry. It says, beware of false prophets, which is come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravening wolves. So in order for a wolf to be in a sheep's clothing, what does a wolf gotta be? He has to be an actor. Because if he's coming in threatening, if he come in his natural form, the sheep, as docile as they are, will feel threatened. And if a sheep feels threatened, they will not come near that wolf. Like, oh shit. So there's men out there that's pretending to be righteous. All right. And that's what Nathaniel, this guy, what's this guy's name? The Pegster. All right. All these other people that carry that elk is willing to go on that route. Now, a good actor will have you fooled. Matthew 23 and 14. Leave. Yep. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites. So let's go into the word hypocrite right here. And there it is. The Greek word for hypocrite. One who answers an interpreter, but that's not it. An actor, a stage player, a disassembler, pretender, hypocrite. That's why the Lord said, St. John 10 talks about the hireling. Okay? So the Lord called the Pharisees, the scribes and the Pharisees, hypocrites. They were actors. They act righteous, but they were wicked. For they devour widows in houses, and for a pretense make long prayer. Therefore they shall receive greater damnation. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for you compass sea and land, and that's what he's doing. You can't make this thing up, man. You can't. To be honest, been in this truth for a few seconds, a hot minute, and everything that the apostles were saying long ago, we see it's clear what the scriptures have been saying. We read the scriptures, put the scriptures into reality. You see it when you have individuals that want to jet setting, all right, get their own private jets to be able to go and teach others when technology, where you don't have to do that. You could talk to somebody in your own house and not say nothing to them through a via phone, text message. How much somewhere on the other side of the world. But they will go they will compass sea and land. So they'll in the United States to another country to make one proselyte, right? A new believer, and when he is made, make him twofold more the child of hell than yourselves. So they made people out there worse because what are they teaching them? Teaching them lies. Can't trust y'all, honestly. If as great, well, no, I can't. Well, all right, I'll say it like this: as great as Denzel Washington is, if Denzel came up, which he did, not he comes as a camera. I'm saying he's talking about he's a Christian now, this, that, to the third. You will be a freaking fool to believe in that guy. You have a lot of actors. What's this guy? Mark Wahlberg, whatever. Now all of a sudden you see commercials with him talking about how much of a Christian he is. You follow that fool, you are asking for it. You can't trust actors. All right? You can't trust an actor. Their job is to lure you in by what? By their performance. And what all these false prophets are doing, they're performing to be righteous. All right? That's why, let me read on. It says, woe unto you, blind guides, which say, whosoever shall swear by the temple is nothing, but whoso shall swear by gold of the temple is a debtor. Ye fools and blind, for what is greater, the gold or the temple that sanctify the gold? And whosoever shall swear by the altar is nothing, but whosoever swears by the gift that is upon it, he is guilty. Ye fools, blind, for whether it is greater, the gift or the altar that sacrifice the gift. Whoso therefore shall swear by the altar, swear by it, and by all things thereon. Let me jump down. Let me see. 23. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for you pay tithe of mint and anise and cumin, and have omitted the weighty matters of the law. And what is a weighty matter of the law? knowing the name of the Lord, which should be simple, right? You make something that's meant to be easy to a difficult task. Why? Because they're hypocrites. It says judgment of mercy and faith. They'll make everybody gotta wear fringes when they go their regular business. If you don't have fringes, you're not righteous. They worry about the outer Jew, but not the inner Jew, right? And faith, these are ye that have done, and not to leave the other undone. You blind guides which strain at a gnat and swallow a camel. Hey, even with the whole mark of the beast, simple. They're making it more difficult. It changes direction every moment. It says, woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for you make clean the outside of the cup and of the platter, but within they're full of extortion and excess. And damn, that's like all of them. You got this guy, the pegster, charging people for marriage counseling, but he's getting pegged. He's sleeping with one of his wife's sisters. All right, and so forth on all unholy righteous things, unrighteous things that's coming out of this man. Thou Pharisees, cleanse first that which is within the cup and the platter, that the outside of them may be clean also. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees and hypocrites, for you like unto whited sepulchres, which indeed appear beautiful. You're worried about the outside, how great their garments look, how they present themselves, which indeed appear beautiful outside, but are within full of dead man's bones and of all uncleanliness. So they're surrounded by dead things. That, like, what's that movie? Sixth Sense, I believe. I see dead people. That's what the little boy said. Well, that's the majority of these camps. All right, nothing but zombies. When you read Ezekiel the 37th chapter, it tells you the breath of life didn't come to some of them. All right, the Lord didn't breathe into them their understanding. It tells you about Revelations 11th chapter, and their body shall lie in a great city. They spiritually dead, and these men are responsible for that. All right, let me go to the other one. Luke 14 and 10. It says, matter of fact, 8. When thou art bid of any man to a wedding, sit not down in the highest room, lest a more honorable man that thou be bidden of him. And he that bid thee, and him that come say to thee, give this man place, and thou begin with shame to take the lowest room. A lot of people are in positions that they should not be in. And the Peggy Bundy, is one of them. He put himself as the high chief priest. Talk about you can keep the laws 100%, but he's doing unthinkable acts. All right, the disrespect. But here's the point: but when thou art bidden, go sit in the lowest room, that when he that bid thee cometh, he may say unto thee, friend, go up higher. Then shalt thou have worship in the presence of them that sit and meet with thee. So who's supposed to bring you up? Yahweh Shai, through the Spirit. Through the Spirit. All right. And it says, for whoso exalted himself shall be abased, and he that humble himself shall be exalted. So does this man right now, and he had power to give life. Wrong video. But does he look like he's Same thing.
Then they start making a bunch of.
Does it look like Nathaniel is abasing himself or exalting himself? He's a full-blown actor.
Okay, read on.
And then this is another madness that they did. Where's the video? Oh shit. Damn, where's the video at? Salakia. This man's a full-blown actor, yo. He's a full-blown actor. That's how you know, and I'm an eyewitness. If you met this guy personally, you think this nigga's humble. But he's not. He was like, what he said, why y'all keep saying I got money? And he had new Bally's on, some dirty new Bally's. He said, look at me. Do I look rich? But look what you're doing. All these years. Even back then. But forget about all these years. Look, even back then. You was lying, yo. You a liar, homie. Now you exalting yourself. Look at you. You're a full-blown actor. That's just crazy, man. And people fall for this shit. He's truly a cult of personality. That whole organization, nothing but cult of personality. Nothing can never take anything that comes out their mouth serious. Now I understand if they have guys that could do it and they're not prophets, they're not teachers or whatever. Okay, I could accept that. But you a full-blown teacher? That's nah. Can't trust a nigga like that. So with that being said, I'm saying real quick, shalom to the elected nation of Israel. Shalom.